Hello, my Juicy co-creators. Lilou here on the Juicy Living Tour today in Ojai, in beautiful California, with delicious Mikki. Hello.
Hello, good to be here. Thank you.
You have such a glow about you. I love it.
And so do you. Thank you. It's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks to Faith. Faith, I know you're watching. She's in this beautiful, delicious island of Kauai in Hawaii. Have you spent some time there?
I just did about 2 months ago for the first time. Incredible island. Love it.
So you built this this production company, and you made so many different independent movies and production, and you're totally out there. How do you describe even your work, actually? Because you're really making a difference.
Thank you. Well, it's there's a lot of artists that have come together. It's a real collaborative, collective of people who have come together to really utilize the power of the media in a positive way. Because what we see a lot on the network television is not always the best representation of humanity. And so we're just about let's point our cameras at the best news of the world and bring it to the people. And there's a lot of people that feel passionate about that. So we feel very honored that we have this community of very talented artists who've stepped forth to help us here.
Who are those people that inspire you? What are you looking for? What are you want to share with others?
Well, really, I guess it's just about possibility and solutions, because there's a lot of, if you look at the mainstream media, if that's your only window to the world, humanity and our future looks pretty bleak. And so for us, it's about what are the technologies out there that'll blow people away so they can actually understand that there are solutions being created to every problem that we currently face. It's really just about having them implemented into our current systems. So it's a lot about technologies, and then it's about people. What are people doing out there that are out of the ordinary to make a difference in the world? And it's extraordinary. I mean, this world is filled with heroes doing stuff that is just so far beyond the capacity of what you would think a single person could do to make a difference on this planet. And so we're about, let's give them some exposure by giving them some media time.
Tell us about your 9/11 experience and what happened there, kind of a big turning point in your life.
A massive turning point, absolutely, yeah. Up until that point, I was a filmmaker and a photographer in Hollywood doing the very typical thing, trying to get work. And I guess, I could say that my pursuit was very much on the selfish side. It was really about me and how do I get my next job. And I was in competition with other filmmakers and all the stuff the traps you fall into when you're in that kind of a system. And the experience I had, I was at the World Trade Center on 9/11 and stayed there for 3 days and did search and rescue and really saw the big picture of what humanity is capable of doing together when something so much bigger than our own personas and egos and identities and desires and addictions and all of these things are cleared out of the way. Mm-hmm. This event was so big that the people that were there, that were present, they weren't thinking about how they looked or what their reputation was or anything. It was just, pick up a shovel and dig. Mm. And we all came together in a way that I'd never experienced before within this human body. And that gave me at least a snapshot of what is possible when we come together for a greater cause, greater than our own selfish desires. And that's all we're doing now is replicating that experience and learning from all these other amazing communities out there that are doing the same thing. Mm.
But what created the shift? How did you then? My question is more: how did you implement it and really took it on and made it happen afterwards? Because a lot of us are inspired by some events, and then we feel not worthy of that, or it's maybe not the right time, and some other things come on our way. So how did you make that happen for yourself?
Really good questions. It was a process for me, actually. And first I went through kind of a negative period, which was I just wanted out of Hollywood. And it took me about 1.5 years to contemplate what I would do next, because I was an actor. I was in front of the camera for the beginning of my career, and so since I was 19 years old, this is all I had really known. And so the thought suddenly that, wow, the very industry that I've been working so hard to be a part of, I don't know that I actually want to be part of it the way that it is right now. And I don't know if I want to sell the products that I've been selling. I don't know if I want to make any more music videos that degrade women. And as I got clearer into realizing I don't and I can't, it's just not in my system anymore that I can actually do that, even if it's a good paycheck. Then I just moved into this recluse. I went up and stayed in Napa Valley in my friend's guest house and took a year off and did some writing and just contemplated, like, what am I going to do? And that turned into a vision of creating this film festival that was really the catalyst for Elevate for us, and the kind of the whistle that we blew for the community to say, let's come together. And so we did the Elevate Film Festival and did that up until 1998, and that was a challenge that we would send filmmakers out into the world to show us what's right with the world, basically. And we'd give them a small budget to go out and make a 7 to 11 minute film. And then we'd bring everyone back into a major arena. The last one that we did was the Nokia for 6,000 people, and we would all watch these inspiring mini movies about all the good stuff of the world, and people would get very inspired. And so that suddenly linked us all up as a community. And we started to meet the people that were saying, you know, this is what I got into this business for. And I got out because I couldn't find it within this system. Let's make more of this. And that's what we've continued to do since that.
So you clearly have a message for Hollywood, for all the movie makers and the actors and a lot of people that have hopes and dreams and live through this kind of false even dream. Maybe it's not even their dream. Did you ever felt like that when you were an actor sometimes? Kind of you were living somebody else's dream?
I would say, I don't know if I would say I was dreaming someone else's dream, but I was certainly dreaming a dream that wasn't my dream. And what I mean by that is when I started to understand what the ego was, I realized that I was actually being driven by something that wasn't in my best interest. And it wasn't really what my spirit, my soul was here to do on the planet. It was what the identity of me needed. The voids that were in my life, I was trying to fill them by becoming someone or becoming powerful or being noticed or being famous and all of these things. So that was the dream of the ego and the purpose of the ego, but it wasn't my dream. And those things now are the bottom of the list, if not off the list. It's really not about that anymore. It's about any kind of exposure like this is done for a different purpose right now. It's really like how there was a point when I just hid behind the camera, and then I realized that my greatest service is to allow for whatever I need to do to reach as many people as I can. That's what I'll step up and do and stop hiding. And but to be very aware each time along the way of why I'm actually doing this and how much of my ego is in that, and how much what am I really here to accomplish by saying yes to this whatsoever.
Did you had to make at any point some not sacrifice, but some things that you had to put on the side to really step up and put this dream in the forefront and make those productions, make those films, attract this team, all of it?
Absolutely. You know, sacrifice is a word that I've been very intrigued by for quite some time, because there's part of me that wants to say, oh, you don't have to sacrifice anything. But the truth of the matter is, yeah, there's a lot that's been sacrificed. What's been gained in its place is so rewarding and so fulfilling that you don't regret the sacrifices. But you do understand that there are, the more you commit to and the bigger game you play, there's less time to just hang out, to do the things, to just pack up, and there's responsibilities. It's like having children. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to have the same carefree life that I always had, I'm going to have 4 kids. No, your life is going to be filled with children, and there's a responsibility there. And so there's definitely been sacrifices there. There are family members that I miss dearly, that I would love to be able to travel to all the different states that they're in and see them more often. But I'm always on a production. And so that has been challenging for me. The older I get, the more aware I am of how important family is, especially now having a child and being a father to a 17-month-old baby. Nothing's more important than spending time with my wife and child now. So where I used to sacrifice before, now I'll actually sacrifice the work.
Do you have any recommendation or things for people that want to kind of make that decision and do that leap of faith, I guess, towards what they feel is it or could be it?
Well, it is a leap. It really is a leap of faith. And if you're leaping for all of the right purposes, then some magic force is there to support us. And I don't even care to name it. And that's where the faith part comes in. If we're leaping because we're coming from that, I need to be noticed or popular or any of that, there may be no safety net there, and you may fall and it may hurt. But when we leap for the right purposes, and which is, for the right purpose for me is just in service to the whole organism, the whole human organism. When we start to serve that life force, then that life force itself starts to support us. And magically, things appear and resources appear. And the people and angels appear in your life. And so that for me it's about doing that clarifying work and then leaping.
So what are you up to these days? What is the kind of production that you're doing or work?
Yeah, right now I'm very excited to announce that I am stepping back into, I've been doing a lot of producing and some directing, but because I'm always juggling 5 to 10 projects, I do a lot of co-directing. So I'll bring a director in that can focus 100% on the project, and I'll be there to oversee it, and then I'll oversee a few projects. And as of 2 months ago, or a couple of months ago, maybe 3 by now, I have signed on to direct a movie that I'm incredibly inspired by. It's called Be Brave. And we're actually doing a crowdfunding campaign right now on IndieGoGo to raise money, and we'll be leaving for Mexico in just about 3 weeks now. Mm-hmm. And this is a truly remarkable story, one that I've been waiting for. Because there's been part of me that has been... Also, my standards are very high, and so I've had several movie offers in the past 5 years, and when I've looked deeply at them, I just kind of deduced that, well, this is a movie. I'm not here to just direct a movie. I want to direct the movie every time, the one that really completely fulfills every desire that I have. And so this movie, Be Brave, comes into my awareness, and it's about a young man named Daniel Northcott, who started at about 20 years old traveling the world to all the sacred sites. And he was obsessed with the subject of interconnectedness and wanted to go around and meet all the sacred people and the indigenous people and to really delve into this subject of how humans are connected with each other and with nature. Because he could see even at that young age that we had become disconnected with nature itself. And along his, he visited 42 countries, and along the way he was taking a memorabilia, a sacred object or a rock or something from each of these sacred sites. And his journey, the last place they went to was in a Mayan cave in Mexico. And he was guided by a tour guide and his friend who spoke Spanish. And they arrived after several hours of hiking into this cave, very, very deep. I think it was about 8 or 10 hours into a cave, into a mountain. They came upon a sacred burial site for the Mayan people. And the tour guide said, don't take anything from the site. And because when you do, you get sick. Everyone that's ever taken anything from this site, they have very, very bad luck and they get very sick. And please don't. And the kid said, please tell him, though, I need to take something. I take it from every sacred site I ever go to. All of this is on camera. All of this is being filmed. That was a part I left out. Dan was an aspiring filmmaker, so he was filming every bit of his life. And he ended up taking a small bone from this Mayan cave, and which was kind of out of his character to dishonor something sacred like that. But he just became obsessed with this for whatever reason. Maybe we'll discover the reason as we create this movie. But a few months later, he was diagnosed with bone cancer, leukemia. And he documented his entire process from the doctor giving him the crushing news all the way up into his final day. And his sister Erin has approached me now to partner up with her because she has, in his will, he left 1,000 hours of footage to his sister with the request that she takes this message out to the world. And so we are now retracing Dan's footsteps and taking the bone back to the cave in January, so just in a couple of weeks here. and that will be the spine of this movie, and we don't know where it's going to go from there. But it's spooky. It's got a lot of deep, dark, legend around it, and it's also very, very bright and filled with an incredibly beautiful message. And in many ways, the question has come up, with the family, who's this incredible family that I've fallen deeply in love with. They ponder every now and then, did their son, did their brother make this conscious choice so that his message, this message that literally was his whole life, that it could be memorialized and turned into a film in this way so that it could reach more people. Mm-hmm. We talk about sacrifice, so it's very possible that that was one of his either conscious or unconscious choices for making this decision that he made.
Oh my goodness, and you're stepping in this unknown.
Totally stepping into it, and I feel very, very good about it, and have my dream team on board. All of the artists that I've ever admired are coming with us to Mexico to do this. We just started the IndieGoGo campaign 1 week ago, and we've already raised about $40,000. And
how much would you like to raise?
We need about 180. Actually, Dan's favorite number was 183, and so we are raising 183. And we feel very hopeful, and we can use all the support we can get to raise that money. It's IndieGoGo, just search Be Brave. And rain or shine, we're doing it. And there have been some, I can't announce it yet, but there have been a couple of very exciting things that have happened in the past week. Some people that have contacted me about this movie, and we're now in talks with them about coming aboard. And if that all works out, it would be very, very good news.
What is your ultimate, really fulfillment? Do you have long-term goals, or is it really moment to moment? You're letting it unfold and being surprised every day?
Yeah, definitely long-term goals. The vision for Elevate has always been to create this brand, a company that will really elevate the movement, to help serve the movement. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of really great visions that are happening out there. I have so many friends that are involved in such beautiful missions with children and clean water and free energy technologies. And so my personal dream has always been that Elevate gets to a point where we have enough clout within the business world that we can raise money for other companies, that our nonprofit can help serve some of these companies who may not have the resources to create a nonprofit, that we can expand upon our collective tribes enough that our reach is in the millions, so that when someone has something to offer or to present to the world, that we have a network of people that can actually help them get this out to the world. And so this is what's unfolding right now. I have some new leadership that's coming aboard. Another thing I can't mention quite yet. We have a lot of great announcements that are going to be happening in a couple of months now. But some new leadership in the company that are coming in to really take it to that next level, and also allow me the time and freedom to stay into the creative. Because I've been one foot in both, and that's been a real challenge for me, is to deal with contracts and release forms and all of this, which you probably... I want to talk about this because I'm watching you as a one-woman show here, and I know that you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of work that's involved in doing this. And I've been in this one foot in and one foot in the other side, and it's really time for me to step into what my dharma is, which is the creative element, and allow other people who have degrees in business and that actually know what the legal terminologies mean to look over the contracts and deal with all of that. And so I'm very excited. I've been feeling a great deal of I guess I'd call it relief lately. Like relief has come in to allow me to really do that. So it's an exciting time for me right now. But I want to know from you, as we do this, if you don't mind me asking a question.
We do hilarious. Oh my goodness.
So I'm watching you, and what people can't see when they watch all of Lilou's videos here is what goes on behind the scenes, and what that is her. That's what goes on behind the scenes. She's doing everything here. She's setting up the microphone and the camera, and she's doing all of this. And I know from being in production and having so many people who have had the dream that you have to, I want to go around and interview all the cool stuff that's going on in this movement. And they usually last a couple of months, and they realize that it's very expensive. There's not always a revenue model to support it. The crews or the people that come to help are super fired up for a month maybe, and then they go back to their day job, and it doesn't last. And the fact that you've been doing it this long, that you've built a career out of it, I'm absolutely certain that you are a woman of very strong resilience and will, and I mean the talent is obvious. But I really want to find out from you, how do you carry on with this, and what are some of the challenges, and how did you make this work? It's really intriguing to me.
This is funny because this is really the first time. You are quite something, aren't you? Oh my goodness. Well, here I am. This is different. How funny. I love this. In the moment. I started 6 years ago posting videos on YouTube, and so far to date, I have 2,000 videos online of interviews, nearly 1,000 interviews of amazing, conscious, beautiful people, from the most well-known to people that nobody have ever heard of. But I just follow my heart and an intuition. I'm very committed. Of course, I really feel this is my dharma, this is my life mission. I went through this hard moment where I had no more money, and I created a book called I Had No Money and I Liked It because it was the opening of my heart. So my heart reopened then, and it was this, on the cover of the book, there's this rainbow, because this is how it felt, like all of a sudden my life was more colorful, and I dared to reopen my heart to life and to trust again. So it's been this kind of love affair now with life, and I feel the universe is my boss, and I'm kind of going on this mission and following my intuition, and the more it goes, it's so delicious, it's so fulfilling to see the synchronicities, the support of people watching. 24 million views online, and just on all those conversations, and it keeps on growing, and it just spreads all over the internet, and I think it's a very powerful thing to just witness for all of us, like how somebody that is kind of just somebody being able to do this. There's no limit. The money is an excuse sometimes to live our dreams, and it's just a matter of going. So I'm very much an advocate of, let's do it. Let's take an action. Let's take the first step, and let's the second step, and just let it unfold. And now I'm sitting here with you, and we're having this delicious conversation and inspiring even more people. So it just unfolds naturally.
I'm really inspired by you, honestly. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice to see someone who's stuck with that, because there's a breaking point, and I see a lot of artists, whether it be actors or directors, reach that point of realizing that this may not be a really easy ride, and at that choice point, a lot of them turn back, and you didn't, and it's really paid off. And it's also a testament to how much people are hungry for this kind of conversation, and elevated media, really, stuff that feels good and is supportive of their highest vibration.
Yeah, and as you said in our interview, the other part is that when you do something not from the ego, but because your heart really feels like it, and when it's unconditional. And with me, it was really unconditional. I was so passionate about getting the inspiration out to the world that even though if I would become homeless out in the street, it was not for the fame or the recognition. It was really to use that as a tool to bring out all these videos, to bring out all these messages, no matter what. And when you're so in touch with that, and you feel so much on track with your life purpose, there's really nothing stopping you. And it's not even a matter of being stopped or not. It's just what makes me happy. And so, yes, I set up the camera myself, but it doesn't matter. If that's the way that it best serves right now spirit or what I'm supposed to do in life, then so be it. And when it'll be time, when I'll have the crew and when I'll have everybody, the technical people set up, it'll be such a joy and a blessing. But I know I'm still on training wheels, and this is for something I don't even know what it will be, but I know it's to inspire as many people as possible.
And you're clearly doing it. You can have your microphone back.
Thank you. Thank you. So this has been delicious. Oh my goodness. Is there a last, something that you want to leave us with for people that need this kind of, whoa, I really feel like living my dream, but what is it? How am I going to do it? How am I going to step in that?
Well, I'm at a particular place right now in my life where I'm refocusing on the things that really matter. So I would say that definitely make the quantum leap and make the sacrifices and all the things that we talked about here, and don't lose sight of what's important. Don't lose sight of yourself, first of all, because it's amazing how even when we're in this type of a movement that's all about self, awakening and awareness, we still, the trap is there that we can lose sight of really what we're here to do. So that's one, and just taking time out for the little things. I've been reconnecting with dear friends that I feel like I've neglected because I've been so busy for the past 5 years or so, and reconnecting with them and just having them know that I miss them and that I love them, and having lunches again and dinners again. These things that are all part of the quality of our life. And I am such a focused person that I can easily lose sight of that stuff. And having a baby has turned that all around for me now, because when he needs my attention, it is really clear, and I give it to him. And I'm also very grateful for my wife, who's just the most understanding, compassionate, amazing person, because she's the backbone of everything that I do. I couldn't do it without her. She understands when something's really important. I don't think that we've ever had a moment where she has expressed feeling neglected or second fiddle or anything like that to the work. And she sure could have, because I've had some jobs that have taken me out for 2 months, straight, where she doesn't really I don't get to come home until 4 o'clock in the morning every single night. So by the time I get up, I'm gone. And so it's that kind of tolerance, patience, understanding, has been what's really made my life complete, to be able to have a career and a loving family, and have that full balance in my life. Yeah.
Balance, yeah.
Yeah, it's important.
Thank you so much. This was so enjoyable, and I had such a great time, and I'm very excited to share this with as many people as possible. Thank you. And all of you delicious co-creators that want to contribute and help, be brave. This is wonderful, wonderful time to help and support.
And to support you, please continue to support Lilou. This is very, very hard work, trust me, and you're doing a great job at it, and it's an honor to be here with you.
Thank you. Much, much love, my delicious co-creators. Blessings. Bye-bye from Ohio.
Oh, bye.
Oh, bye.